Hi guys, welcome to another session of Decorators Pro Members Growth Club. Bit of a mouthful there. Myself and Lindsay is in the background. All you're going to see from Lindsay is probably just a little hand of a wave or a little hi.
Hello.
To be honest with you, all you guys, if you're running a business and you're self-employed, although your partner probably doesn't work in the business, they still have to play a massive part of support. So a lot of you guys, obviously in the Growth Club, have probably already done business with us in some fashion previously. So you already know Lindsay anyway. Lindsay is what we call the architect. She's the one that builds everything. I'm the one that's the face of it, the visionary, and the one that obviously steps up and does this side. But she works in the background doing all the stuff that I can't do, and that's why our, I suppose, business relationship works really well. So what are we focusing on this month? Well, let's get organized, and what have we tried in the past? That's more about you and me. I can only talk from my experience of what I've tried, and what kind of worked at times. I fell by the wayside. I kind of went back to old habits, and how did those bad habits affect me and my business and my family and everything else. So what I want to do first is you guys need to sit down and write down, and we'll try and work through what you've tried previously. What have you read? What have you watched? What have you listened to? What have you tried? How long did you try it for? Did you feel that it fitted with your nature? Did you feel that it was just hard work? It's not me. It's not my thing. And also, I need to see, or you need to see, what have you tried in the past? So what works? Writing lists, using apps, voice messages, a combination of all the other stuff. Because what we're trying to focus here is moving forward, whatever we try and build within the Growth Club, and everything we try and help you with, whether it's marketing, pricing, quoting, it doesn't matter what it is, it needs to be organized. So us focusing as a priority to get organized, and we're going to show you how, and we're going to set you up, and we're going to move forward, but we're going to try and keep these in bite-sized chunks so that you can do something that is really good. You can learn and you can implement. There's no point just learning, and there's no point just implementing. You need to have both. To walk forward, you need to have the ability to step and step and step. One is knowledge and one is implementation, and you need to be able to do both at the same time. If you just learn, you just think about putting your foot on the ground and just spinning around in circles. That's kind of what you do. Now, you're learning, but you're not actually implementing. Previously with the mentor group, we had a group, let's say half of them might not have learned everything, but they implemented a hell of a lot of it. A lot of other people learned a lot and implemented nothing. We saw the growth of the ones that implemented far greater. It was huge. Even when they got it wrong, it was still a better outcome. The key here is have a go. Okay, just give it a go. Well, I mean, you've got nothing to lose. If you just watch and listen, you've got everything to lose because you've done nothing. You've built your business up to this stage, then you've realized that maybe if I was in a group and I was around these guys, I could lift my business again. That's not going to work if you just stay doing what you've always done. I mean, that's just crazy. So Lindsay's got, before we get started, I just wanted to go through some stats, and these are professional companies. These are big players, and the stats play down to our line of business and us as a sole trader or a very, very small business working on your own, etc. What we got?
So just a couple of them. One is if you spend 10 to 12 minutes planning your day, you'll save up to 2 hours of time that basically you'd have otherwise wasted. Another one is the average person has tried and or uses 13 different methods for managing their time.
Yeah, I mean we've tried all sorts. We've got one now, it works. Okay, and we've been using it quite a long time. And it's not just me that uses it. Lindsay uses it. In fact, our entire team now uses it, and we're very, very what's the word? We're very pushy. We just nothing happens in our business unless it goes through the system. There's nobody's allowed to kind of go their own way. It has to be done. Yeah, they're not allowed to go rogue. there's the video that's obviously in this series coming forward is one that you might have already seen, or if not, it's called Prioritize Me 1, 2, 3. And that is about getting organized. That is about planning. So it's a very simplistic yet very effective way of planning your week, your month, your projects, and everything else. But we're going to lift that to a whole different level and show you how we get organized, and we're going to do that with you. So what else we got on there, Linz, just whilst we're looking?
70% of people, interestingly, do use to-do lists,
Yeah.
mostly to get their most important tasks done, which I thought was pretty cool.
You used to hate it, didn't you? I mean, I used to have pad after pad after.
Nightmare.
I just had lists. It's the way my brain. I just had to get everything out and just list it, and then I'd have pads, and then I'd lose the pads. I'd lose the lists and everything else.
And obviously, the biggest thing is, and they're saying here, people who are self-employed and have nobody to report to can fall into a slump or sense of complacency, which can be hard to snap out of. It's really easy to think you're busy, but you're actually not achieving anything.
Busy fool.
Yeah.
Just a busy fool.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, even by being involved in the Growth Club, it still falls on you. I don't have any accountability towards you, and vice versa. All I can do is, try and call you out at certain stages and see if I can give you a little prod or a little push, just to try and get you to be accountable to yourself, to your business, and to your family. That's the key. That's your accountabilities. So, stuff that we've done in the past, what have we done? Like I said, we've done list taking. We've done apps, we've done to-do list apps, voice memos. Voice memos, we still use voice memos, but then you've got to go back and re-listen to it. They're good, but they can be time consuming. Sometimes doing what we're doing now, I'd have to troll back through like 10, 15 minutes to get it. But sometimes there's no choice. I find that a lot of my key ideas come whilst I'm driving. It's that left and right brain scenario. Whilst you're driving, you have to be fixed on one aspect, allowing this brain to roam freely. And some of those crucial ideas, having a voice memo on your phone or just some form of voice capture to capture that stuff is really, really good. So again, the bits that you guys have done, what is it you've done? I mean, we need to know that. We've struggled, to be honest with you, or I've struggled as a self-employed decorator. Even if I was working on my own, or I had staff working for me, and Lindsay was doing some of the stuff, trying to keep organized and always will be a challenge. You had some there about procrastination and things, didn't you?
Yeah, the same. Many freelancers actually procrastinate due to perfectionism, imposter syndrome, and worry that they can't deliver good enough results. I mean, I think as decorators, you're artistic, but you're constantly striving for perfection, and you will procrastinate because you don't think what you're doing is good enough.
That comes into obviously being organized as a whole, but if that key there tells you the kind of person you are. If you're striving for perfection and feeling like you always need to do more, there's some videos that I've done which is called value over vanity, and it's something that we talk about. Vanity is that element of striving for perfection, and everything that I've done over the years, I've now realized that perfection is paralyzing. And again, if you're trying to create something, you're trying to create a list, you're trying to create something that's organized, and you're not happy with it because it's not right, it's not 100%, and I'm not going to do that next part until this is right. I think one of the things as well, I've seen people when they're writing quotes, it's just like they're writing this quote for so many reasons, trying to justify their business, their pricing, and they're trying to get this quote so perfect that it never actually goes out, or if it does, it goes out late, and again, when it goes out, you're not happy. I mean, now transfer that onto, let's say, what we're going to be doing after getting organized, which is setting up your socials and starting to get ready with your socials. That's probably the biggest problem we've had. The amount of people that just look for perfection in their posts. I'm not happy with the photo. I'm not happy with how it sounds. So I just won't do it. It's just crazy.
You better post something out than nothing.
Yep. So procrastination is a key. when things start to go wrong because you're not organized, it just spirals out of control. And everything that you do is based around being organized. So you're booking in jobs, as in like going to see a job, communicating with the customer, and oh shit, where have I put her number? Oh bloody hell, what time did I say? I can't remember what time. What time did I say I was going to go see? Then the address. Oh shit, where's the address? What was it?
There is one, I'll have to find it. There is one saying something like employees spend something like 60% of their time looking for something that they've misplaced. And I completely relate to that.
It's and we're going to show you how we've not. I won't ever say the word eradicate, but we have really honed down on this to a high degree. But this is what I'm saying. Does this resonate with you? Because all I'm saying is this is me. The amount of times that I've just not organised the right stuff, and that becomes worse when you start growing because the jobs become more intense. There's more to do. You've now got staff to organise, and remember that the loss of your time is costly. But multiply that now by you not being organised and making sure that you're not now getting 100% out of the staff that you're paying for. So now you're paying on top of more problems, and that in itself will mess with, let's use the word, because you are a mental health first aider. So she is actually qualified MHFA, and it does plays on anxiety. It might just start with a little bit of a knot in the stomach. It might play with absolutely being debilitating. Some people that we know that we've helped really have struggled with the whole anxiety and everything else, and being on medication to a certain extent, or being able to dealing with customers and everything else. Organization is something that will bring better communication and more clarity to you and your business, and how you approach that within yourself, your staff, and towards your customers. So I just want to know what it is that you do at the moment. What have you tried? Give it a rating, maybe 1 to 5 or 1 to 10. Did you stick with it? Was it good? Was it bad? It wasn't you. How did it make you feel? Do you feel like you were finally getting somewhere? Did you feel like you were organized? Did you feel like you were still spinning plates all the time? Did you feel that the thought of dropping that ball is just horrendous? And again, we're going to put up some obviously book recommendations and podcasts and audios and that. And again, this is one that obviously some of you guys might have seen. I've read it. I've taken bits. Brian Tracy. I mean, I read or listened to Brian Tracy's books years ago. I remember having one on my first podcast. That's how long ago. And I'm not saying that I listened to it and I implemented it. I'm not saying that it was life-changing. But it is surprising how much I have taken from that and I still use today. You take the best bits. And again, what we're going to do over these videos and everything else that we got, it's about you taking the best bits from it. So I'm going to cut it off there because I want you to do the first bit of work. All right, write it down, share it in the group. We'll find a way of being able to share these bits in the group. The more we share, the better we grow. This is a collective. All right, I will be the first one to put out. I'll show you what we've done. I'll be the first one to tell you how I've cocked everything up, because I'm hoping that the stuff that I've got wrong has given me and Lindsay and the team now to make things better. So that's all I can do is give you guys what we've done wrong, how it's hurt us personally, financially, because it does affect you. When you don't do things right and you drop the ball, it's going to affect you personally. It's going to affect your relationship with your partner, which we've had that over the years. It's going to affect you with your kids, because you're going to find that when you're not organized, and even with your mates, you've got plans with your mates and then suddenly you have to let them down because you've got to work the weekend, because you've got to get a job offer. Just all of those bits, that's usually because you're not organized. When you're organized, how how long things are going to take. You can schedule things. You imagine just stupid like forgetting to order paint. How costly, and how does that make you feel? Now you've got that conversation with the customer saying, "Oh, I've got to order more paint, and it's not going to be until Wednesday." And it's just things like that just really, really affect you. So get busy, okay, get involved, and don't forget that if you don't do the work, it doesn't make any difference to us. I mean, it does, but it doesn't, because it's not our business. The only way you can change your business is by you actually trying to implement something different and new. The only thing we can do is try and encourage you, to give you a kick up the arse if that's something that you require, or just try and make you accountable. The one thing I do find is when you're accountable to the group, not that I'm going to, we'll see how that pans out, but you've got to be accountable to yourself. But you've got to remember, you are still accountable. You're accountable to yourself, you're accountable to your partner, you're accountable to your staff, your customers, your kids, your friends. You are accountable. So if you're not organized, that is on you. No one else. You know, it's not anybody else. There is nobody else that can organize you. There isn't. You know, you can't have a VA, you can't have a partner. Lindsay can't organize me because I need to be able to organize myself for the projects and the bits that I need to do. You can help, but you can't do it. So, guys, part one, okay, write it down, get as much out there, okay. Firstly, what have you used? What have you tried? What have you used? What have you tried? Did it work? How did it work? Did you stick with it? If so, for how long? And how did it make you feel? Is it something that you've carried on? That's the first thing we want to know. Is we want to know what you've done previously before we steam ahead. Cool. Get your work done. All right. Let's start to get organized. Guys, get busy, get involved. Let's do this.